Hello, everyone. I am back with you in the weekend conversations after some gap. Uh, you know, I couldn't do these weekend conversations for a couple of weeks. Either, I was traveling or it was, the weekend of Eid. So I couldn't do these videos before. But now I'm planning to be back and will try to be more regular. Today, I want to talk about what have observed in the startup arena ecosystem, whatever you may want to call it. There are three actors in this entire, startup ecosystem. One is mentor, another is advisor, and third is a consultant. And I have seen that these are very interchangeably used, uh, and uh, you know we sometimes miss that what is the real essence of all three terms or all three actors, whom I consider very important, I would say, support system or assets in the life of an entrepreneur. So here is an attempt, as per my understanding, that how do these three play a part, a role, a critical role, and how are these three different? Like why we may not use them interchangeably. That's what the attempt is, and that's what I'm talking in today's weekend conversation. First, let's come to mentor. Now, this is very extensively, widely used, and we always talk that startup founders should have a mentor, and the mentor will guide and maybe take places and do wonderful things to an entrepreneur and entrepreneur's startup. Um, so, who is a mentor? You know, we have to understand mentors' focus is more on the individual than anything else. And ideally, if you look at mentor, a mentor is someone who has already walked the journey and is able to kind of pass on the knowledge, the real practical knowledge based on the experiences and how that person has dealt with the situation that right now we may find the present founder or present startup in. That is the role of a mentor. And, I think it's more of uh, one-on-one relationship. It is less of monetary benefits. Now, this is something I want to kind of mark out here uh, in very kind of, I want to emphasize on this thing that mentorship and monetary benefits do not ideally go hand in hand. Yes, there are mentorship programs. In fact, I also had started a mentorship program some time back, and I also had linked in monetary benefits to it. But uh, I think, you obviously perhaps become wiser as the time passes. Mentorship should not be linked to any monetary gain. I'm very clear on it now. So, how does a mentor add to the life of a founder or, the startup as a whole? See, uh, take any example. Take an example of a doctor, for instance. Now, while a new doctor or a fresher or a student would have, of course, read things, would have uh, also experienced and uh, you know performed those things. If it is a surgery, performed it in lab conditions, done good practice of it, assisted someone. But when it comes to leading and becoming in charge of the things, that is where uh, there is always a gap between what you have understood, uh, the concepts you have gained over a period of time, and their practical implementation. That is where the mentor comes in and tells you exactly like how that mentor has dealt with the situation, how he or she has, uh, you know, done certain thing over here. And that is how, uh, how you can navigate a situation. So the entire purpose of mentorship is to pass on the 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 experiences to the next generation uh, in the same professional journey. Now let's talk about advisors. So advisor is, you can see, a specialist in a particular domain, and you need to kind of you need answers to very specific and pointed questions where you need a technical expertise who could guide you, who could tell you that uh, what exactly needs to be the response in this situation. That is where you come across terms like legal advisor, financial advisor. Now, remember, you as an individual never want to become a financial expert or never want to become a legal expert, but you have advisors who can counsel you, whom you can solicit, and they will give you the right advice that how do you navigate this particular situation. So that is the role of advisors. But here's the thing, which differentiates advisors than I would say mentors. Advisors would expect a fee out of this. That's one. But at the same time, you cannot expect advisors to be doing things for you. They will only give you the guidance. They will only tell you how you can do or how you can deal this situation. But the onus is completely on you. So in both the situation, that's where they are similar, be it mentoring or advising. In both the cases, the onus of acting upon is on the startup founder, is on the founder. One cannot expect that the mentor should be doing the things for a founder, or at the same time, the advisor should be doing things for the founder. They will only more or less guide you, tell you what to do or what not to do, but eventually you will have to execute the things. That is where, by the way, mentor and advisor are very similar in terms of the contribution they make to us founders' journey. The third role is of a consultant. Now, how are consultants different? So consultants also, again, when you look at very loose, I would say English terms, it looks very similar to advisor or maybe a mentor. But the difference in consulting is that the consultant, yes, tells you that how you could do a thing or how you could tackle a situation, but then also walks that uh, execution plan. So you could hire a consultant, give him a business situation or a business problem. The consultant will come back with a framework, how you know uh, this problem could be addressed or solved, and then executes and implements that plan. Earlier, yes, there were consultants who would kind of play an advisory role and just tell you, okay, this is the framework, and now I'm leaving it to you, or I am leaving to the board to decide in case of a very corporate structure. But in the past decade or so, a lot of change, especially when things are getting implemented and executed through digital means, through technology. That is where consultants' role has changed, which is not just of, I would say, pure advisory, but also of executing and showing the impact and showing the results thereof. And of course, the consultant will do it in lieu of a fees. So that is where, these three roles are very important in an entrepreneur's journey. And I have seen mostly startup founders believe that they just need mentors. Rarely I will find any startup or a mentor having advisors or consultants. They don't engage with consultants. And even if they engage with consultants, they feel they want to kind of work on a mentorship model, which is not a right approach. So you got to be clear. I think founders also need to be clear that what to expect from a mentor and what to expect from an advisor and what to expect from a consultant, and how to engage them and when to engage them. That's very important. And at the same time, I think mentors, consultants, and advisors also need to be clear that okay, what role do they want to play? If they want to get even up to the point of executing, then they don't remain in a mentorship or an advisory framework or a role. They become consultants. So if, for instance, somebody, it's like okay, somebody has say implemented e-commerce as a channel, uh, and is in a particular, say, domain, say, a particular product category, is already an entrepreneur. So I can request that person to be my mentor, to help me out. How do I go with this channel? And, that person will tell me the nitty gritties, what all kind of is faced in between. So, become my mentor in that way. And of course, does not expect any return in terms of a monetary return as such. An advisor can tell me, okay, if there are any, maybe regulatory hassles or something, so I might need an advisor to tell me, okay, how do I navigate these particular, kind of situations while going, say, online, in terms of a channel, or how do I, so there could be an expert in channel, advisory is a very big advisory, which is there in corporate sector. So how do I really, go through that channel advisory? There are advisors, experts who can guide you, but again, they will expect a fee. So you'll have to pay them advisory fee for that. And finally, there will be a consultant who will, do that real execution for you, set it for you, uh, you know, uh, uh, onboard you on a particular e-commerce platform, even, maybe at times decide which platform is better for you, and help with all the processes, set that up. There are lots of logistics required, walks you through that also, and eventually gets that operational for you and shows you the results. Now that result could be, you have to just start selling online, you have to achieve a particular revenue goal, or whatever, that maybe that's something you would be clear about, that what do you want out of this consulting engagement. And that's where, you will again pay a fee to the consultant. Now, there can be a bit of difference here, that yes, you may pay consultant uh, a, a, a retainer fee, as well as an impact based, you know, you can say commission or something on top of it. So it could be kind of distributed like that. So you pay certain fee, which is fixed in terms of in recognition of the time that the consultant is spending with you and the expertise he's leveraging, he's offering. And the second set of the remuneration could be, which could be, impact based. So the kind of impact, that activity that consulting has generated, a share of it also goes to the consultant. If the fixed remuneration is not sufficient enough, and it usually happens in a startup environment, that it becomes difficult to pay upfront the entire thing to consultants. And there are, consultants understand this, they work like that with startups. That's, I wanted what I wanted to share today, because I see a lot of confusion around this thing happening. And it's on the both sides. Let me be very honest. It's on the both sides. It's on the side of founders, and it's on the side of the other side, where you have mentors, you have advisors, and you have consultants ready to work, with you. Uh, I think there is another scope, which the fourth actor, which could be a hybrid of, I would say, all of them, and that is coach. So I believe if you are doing something like mentoring, but against a fee, so that is not mentorship, that is coaching. Now that is where, somebody who has already been an entrepreneur is now offering uh, his or her expertise to other entrepreneurs, but expecting a fee. That is where it becomes coaching. And I take it, simply from the world of sports. So you have a sports person, say a cricketer, understands the nitty gritties, and offers his or her experiences and actually guides you, but is not just mentoring you, is asking or is doing that against a consideration, against a fee. And that's where the coaching comes in. So I believe, yes, that is one more space, that is one more actor, which is presently maybe exists there, but is not very, distinctively kind of recognized as a character in the startup ecosystem. And my personal belief is that a lot of startups actually need coaches than mentors. And there are a lot of mentors who actually want to be coaches, uh, but they are also kind of getting labeled or tagged as mentors, because they are not just wanting to offer their expertise just like that. They are wanting, they want to monetize their experiences. They want to monetize their capabilities. So it's more of being a coach. So these are four, uh, actors, and this is what I have been able to understand. What makes those um, nuances, and what are the differences in their roles and contributions in a startup founder's journey. And that's what I wanted to share in today's weekend conversation. I'll be back with you in another episode. Till then, enjoy your time and enjoy your week.